Now that might sound odd, right? We're supposed to know what we want. We're told we know what we want, right? And we're supposed to be the experts in knowing what we want, and what's supposed to make us less happy is the fact that we can't find what we want. But as long as we can find what we want, then clearly we're supposed to be happy. But we don't know what we want. Let's look at this at the most basic level. Let's say I show you pictures of these two beautiful women. One's a blonde, one's a brunette. Now, in fact, these pictures were shown, series of these pictures were shown to men in the United States and in Scandinavia. And they were asked, which one do you think is more beautiful? Some picked the blonde and some picked the brunette. Later on, they're shown the same pictures again. And they're shown which one they chose. And now they're asked, why did you pick that one? Tell me why. Now, here's a guy that chose the brunette, but he's told he chose the blonde. So what does he say when he's asked, why did you choose the blonde? I like blondes. 87% of the time, he doesn't notice the sleight of hand. So we don't remember our preferences or our choices, even though they were supposedly in line with what we wanted. Now, this happens to us in lots of different things, not just who we find attractive, or what we find interesting, what we like to eat. It also happens to us on really important choices. Let's take the decision of what kind of a job offer you're gonna accept. What are you looking for in a job? Let's go back to those over 1,000 people that were looking for a job. These graduating students, the maximizers and the satisficers. Well, we also asked them throughout their graduating year to rank order a whole bunch of attributes, about 15 different attributes, from most important to least important. The usual suspects: work-life balance, the amount of salary you get, the amount of autonomy you have at this job, vacation time, promotion opportunities, etc. They answered this question in September, in December, in March, and right after graduation, by which point most of them have accepted a job offer. Turns out that what they say they want keeps changing. They say one thing in September, usually around December, vacation matters more. By March, salary is becoming more important, etc. So their preferences are changing over time. What's the actual correlation between what they said they wanted in September and what they said they wanted in May? Non-significant. Might as well be zero. But who's happier with the job offer they accepted? Those who get a job that's in line with what they originally wanted, or not? It turns out that the people who get what they want in May, or at least don't remember what they used to want in September, people who think that whatever they wanted in May is exactly what they wanted all along, those are the people that not only are happier, but they actually get more job offers and they get higher salaries. You know, I'm reminded of what our grandmothers used to tell us when we were kids. That the happy people in life are not the people that actually get what they want, but want what they get. So often, when you think about your careers, right, we have certain ideals that we grow up with, certain ideals that we're given at a certain point in time. And we cling to those ideals. But it might turn out that the present actually has offered us some choices that are different from those ideals, but might still make us happy because we have adapted. Because ultimately, we are very adaptive creatures. Turns out we don't actually even remember our pasts and what we wanted in the past and how we felt about things in the past particularly accurately. Let's look at an impactful decision, like an election. Way back in the election of 2000, I realize many of you were much too young at that point, but this was a pretty important election. Remember the hanging Chad? It's a big deal in that election, Bush versus Gore. A bunch of people were asked how they felt on election day. Then they were asked how they felt on the day Gore had to concede. Remember, this was an election ultimately decided by the Supreme Court. And then they were asked 4 months later how they felt, and also asked how they remembered feeling on the election day and on the day Gore conceded. And it turned out that everybody misremembered. Right? The Republicans remembered being more overjoyed than they were. The Democrats remembered being more miserable than they actually were. So our preferences are not consistent. They're constantly changing, and we don't always know what we want. As Blaise Pascal once said, the heart has its reasons, of which reason knows nothing. Now, what about